Diary entry, Day 1. The doctor says writing everything down will help. Separate fact from fiction, she said. But that's the whole problem. I'm not sure what's real anymore. The nightmares started simple enough. Shadows flickering in strange ways, walls moving ever so slightly. Things I could shake off when I woke up. But last night? God, I don't know if I ever actually woke up. My body remembers the touch of cold stone, the scrape of it against my skin, and the smell. It clings to me even now, like mold and rot. I woke up drenched in sweat, chest tight, feeling like I was suffocating. I told myself it was just a dream, but now I don't know. The memory's too real, the sensation's too fresh. I'll keep writing. Maybe if I trace it all here, I'll find where the lines blur. Diary entry, Day 3. It's happening again. I woke up an hour ago, at least I think I did, but my hand still hurts where I scraped it. It doesn't make sense. The cut isn't there, but I feel it, sharp as anything. These dreams, they're bleeding into my days. I'll be cooking, and suddenly I'll see flashes of rooms I've never been in, with narrow, twisting hallways. Places that smell of dust and decay, dark, silent places that feel familiar somehow. Like I belong there, like I've been there before. I tried to call Jenna today to tell her, but I hung up before she answered. She'd just say I'm obsessing again, like I did last time. But I can feel these dreams seeping in, like they're spreading into my waking life. I need to pull myself together. I'll keep writing, keep documenting. Maybe I'll figure it out. Diary entry, Day 7. I haven't been sleeping, not really. Whenever I close my eyes, I'm back in that place. It's a stone room, underground, I think. The air is cold and wet with a metallic tang. It smells like rust and something else I can't quite place. Something wrong. Every time it's the same. I feel my way along the walls, the rough stone tearing at my fingertips. It's pitch dark, but I know there's something ahead of me, just around the corner. I haven't seen it, but I can feel it waiting. Today I woke up in bed, but I swear I could still taste the dampness on my tongue. And my feet. They were filthy, covered in dirt and grit. I don't know how they got that way. Diary entry, Day 10. Last night was worse. It's becoming impossible to tell where I end and these dreams begin. I was back in that underground room, wandering through those cold, winding corridors. Every sound, every scent seemed sharper, louder, more present. I remember hearing footsteps behind me, but whenever I turned, there was nothing. Just a heavy silence that felt as though it was pressing against me, weighing me down. When I woke up, there was dirt under my nails. Real dirt. I couldn't shake the smell of wet soil, as if it had clung to me through the dream. My sheets were bunched around me, as if I'd fought to break free of something. But when I tried to stand, I felt a sharp pain in my heel. There was a small stone, jagged, filthy, just lying there on the floor. The logical part of me says it must have come from outside somehow. Maybe it got stuck to my shoe. But I don't remember walking outside yesterday. I don't remember much of anything. And that terrifies me. Diary entry, Day 12. I've started leaving notes for myself. Little reminders around the apartment to keep track of what's real. Today I wrote one on the mirror. You're awake. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm not sure I'd know otherwise. The moments where I drift off, or think I'm awake but am really still asleep, they're coming more frequently. I'll find myself washing dishes, then blink and realize I'm standing in the middle of the room, the water running, my hands covered in soap but the dishes untouched. It's as though something is pulling me under, like I'm sinking into these dreams even when I'm awake. There's a fog settling over everything I do. I barely recognize myself in the mirror. Dark circles under my eyes, the slight tremor in my hands. Jenna would be horrified if she saw me now, but she wouldn't understand. I can't explain to anyone what it feels like to wake up and not know where you've been, what you've done, who you are. I need to find a way to stay grounded, to stay in control. Day 14. There was a door last night. I hadn't seen it before. In all my wandering, I'd never come across anything resembling an exit. But this door was unmistakable. Thick, ancient wood with a handle that looked worn from use. I couldn't resist. I pushed it open, and immediately I was met with a damp breeze that smelled like iron. I hesitated on the threshold, but something pulled me forward. The floor was uneven, rocks jutting up through the dirt, and the sound of dripping water echoed in the distance. It felt endless, this space. Twisting hallways, rooms that led to other rooms, each one filled with a strange sense of familiarity. I started to recognize things: a broken chair, a cracked mirror, even a bundle of old cloth shoved into a corner. Things that felt like they belonged to me somehow. When I woke up, I was lying on the floor next to my bed, the taste of iron sharp in my mouth. Day 18. I've stopped sleeping altogether, or at least I'm trying to, but it's making things worse. Every noise in the apartment startles me. I jump at shadows, at the creaks and groans of the building. I know it's irrational, but I can't shake the feeling that something is lurking, waiting for me to slip back into that world. I feel it closing in, like it's right under my skin. Today I found another stone. This one was larger, rougher, with a smudge of dirt on it. It was sitting on the kitchen counter, as though I'd placed it there myself. But I don't remember bringing it in. I don't even remember seeing it before. It feels like a piece of the dream has slipped into my waking world. Like a crack has formed between the two and things are starting to spill out. Am I losing my mind? Or am I just tired? The line between the two is starting to blur, and I don't know how to find my way back. Day 21. I've started sleepwalking. I woke up in the hallway outside my apartment last night, my hands filthy, the knees of my pants soaked. It's the first time I've been truly afraid. I could feel the cold from the stone walls, the slick mud under my feet, even after I'd shaken myself awake. My reflection in the glass by the elevator looked hollow, almost unfamiliar. I couldn't bring myself to look too closely. I called Jenna this morning. I didn't say much, just that I missed her, that I was sorry. She must have been confused. She kept asking if I was okay, if there was anything wrong. I almost told her everything, but what would I even say? That I'm trapped in some nightmare that won't let me go? That I can't tell if I'm awake or asleep anymore? I'm not sure if I'm protecting her or myself. Maybe both. Day 23. I found something under my bed, a bundle of cloth tied with string. My hands shook as I unwrapped it, and inside, I found a broken mirror, just like the one in my dreams. The glass was cloudy, smeared with dirt, and when I picked it up, I saw my reflection staring back at me, distorted, twisted. I dropped it and backed away, feeling a cold sweat break out on my skin. How did it get there? Have I been bringing things back with me? The thought sends a chill down my spine. It's as if pieces of that place are following me, infiltrating my home, my life. I can't sleep. I can't even sit still. Every time I close my eyes, I see that stone corridor, stretching endlessly, and the door, waiting for me. I know, deep down, that it's calling me back. Day 26. I'm at the end of my rope. I haven't left the apartment in days. The walls feel like they're closing in, shrinking with every passing hour. I can barely recognize the place anymore. It's covered in remnants of that other world. The broken mirror, the stones, the dirt-streaked floors. I don't know how much longer I can hold on. Last night, I dreamed I walked through that door and never came back. It's hard to describe the relief I felt, the sense of belonging almost, like I was finally home. But then I woke up and the terror came rushing back. I'm slipping, I know it. The thought of never waking up doesn't seem so horrible anymore. It feels almost like a mercy. Day 27. This will be my last entry. I can't keep running from it. I know now that there's no escape. That door, it's not just part of my dream. It's real. I don't know how or why, but I know it's there, waiting for me. Maybe it's always been there, and I've just been too afraid to go through it. But the fear is fading now, replaced by something calmer, something inevitable. If someone finds this, if anyone reads these words, know that I tried. I tried to stay here, to hold on to this reality, but it's pulling me back, stronger than anything I've ever felt. And maybe that's where I belong after all. Day 28. I spent hours last night wandering around my apartment, pacing like a caged animal. Every sound seemed amplified. The hum of the refrigerator, the pipes groaning, even my own breathing. I felt the walls pressing closer with every step. I left a mark on the wall near the door, something to ground myself in reality, a reminder of what's real. But the minute I turned my back, I couldn't remember if I'd put it there or if it had always been there. I'm not sleeping at all now, but it hardly makes a difference. Reality and dreams are tangled, two vines twisting around each other until I can't see where one begins and the other ends. I'm haunted by flashes of that place, narrow corridors, scraping sounds from somewhere just out of sight. And that door. I hear it creak open in the middle of the night, even though I know it can't be here, not in this world. When I checked the kitchen sink this morning, I found rust-colored streaks that smeared beneath my touch. I don't know where they came from. Day 30. I finally left the apartment today. The walls were suffocating, and I thought a walk might clear my mind, but I only made it to the end of the street before turning back. The street seemed unfamiliar, even though I've lived here for years. Everything felt off-kilter, the shadows longer, the colors muted. People passed me by, their faces blurred, unrecognizable, as if I were looking at them through fogged glass. I tried to buy groceries, simple things, bread, milk, something to remind me of normal life. But when I got to the register, the items had disappeared from my basket. I'm sure I picked them up. I can even remember the weight of them in my hands, but it's as if they never existed, as if I imagined the whole thing. I left the store empty-handed, with the cashier giving me a look that felt somewhere between pity and fear. Back in the apartment, the air felt thicker, more oppressive. I can feel it seeping into my lungs, my mind. I don't know how much more of this I can take. Day 32. I tried to call my brother today. It took me several tries to remember his number, and when I finally dialed, my voice sounded weak, hollow. But he didn't answer. The call went to voicemail, and I couldn't bring myself to leave a message. What could I possibly say? That I'm being haunted by dreams that are taking over my life? That I'm slipping away, disappearing into some place that exists only in shadows? I wonder if he would even recognize my voice. I barely recognize it myself. There's a shakiness there, a desperation I can't hide. And my reflection, it's not right. I avoid the mirror now, but sometimes, out of the corner of my eye, I catch a glimpse. I look thinner, older, as if these dreams are draining the life from me. The shadows under my eyes have darkened, spreading like bruises. Day 34. There's a sound that's been following me. It started as a faint scraping, like metal dragging against stone, but it's grown louder, more insistent. It echoes through my apartment, bouncing off the walls and into my mind until I can't escape it. I don't know where it's coming from, but I can feel it pulsing, vibrating through the floor. It's almost like it's alive. I tried plugging my ears, drowning it out with music, but nothing works. It's there, constant, drilling into my thoughts, eroding any sense of peace I have left. I'm starting to wonder if it's in my head, if this is all just some trick my mind is playing on me. But it feels too real, too visceral. The door is waiting for me, just like it always is. I can feel it, lurking in the back of my mind, calling me. I can't resist forever. Day 35. I haven't slept in days now. I feel like a ghost, drifting through my own life, unable to touch anything real. The air in my apartment feels thick, as if I'm underwater, and every step I take feels sluggish, heavy. The walls have taken on a strange texture, rough and uneven, almost like stone. I keep finding those little stones around the apartment, more and more of them. They're scattered everywhere, on the counter, in my bed, even in my shoes. They're all different sizes, but they all have the same rough, worn feel, as if they've been dragged across something sharp. And they're always cold to the touch, freezing, as if they've been pulled from some underground place. I tried throwing them out, but the next morning they were back. I don't know how they're getting in, but they're multiplying. It's as if they're trying to tell me something, to show me the way. Day 37. I walked down to the basement today. I'm not sure why. Maybe I thought I'd find something down there. Some clue, some answer. The stairwell was dark and the air was damp, with a faint metallic tang that made my stomach turn. It reminded me of the corridors from my dreams. At the bottom, I found an old, cracked mirror leaning against the wall. The glass was smeared with dust, and when I wiped it away, I saw my reflection. But it wasn't quite me. There was something off, something wrong. My eyes looked hollow, empty, like they belonged to a stranger. I don't remember how long I stood there staring at that reflection. It felt like hours, but it could have been minutes. When I finally turned away, I felt a weight settle over me, a sense of inevitability. Whatever's happening to me, whatever this is, I don't think there's any way out. Day 40. I've stopped trying to fight it. I know now that this is my fate, that I can't escape. The dreams, the door, the endless corridors, they're part of me now, woven into my mind, my soul. I can feel them pressing against my thoughts, filling every corner of my mind with their darkness. Last night I walked through the door again, but this time I didn't wake up. I wandered through the corridors for what felt like hours, days, maybe even years. I saw faces, shadows of people I used to know, people I thought I'd left behind. They stared at me with hollow eyes, their expressions blank, unfeeling. They didn't speak, but their silence was louder than any scream. I don't know if I'll come back this time. I don't know if there's anything left to come back to. Day 41. This may be my last entry. I can feel myself slipping away, fading into that other world. The stones, the corridors, the door, they're all waiting for me, calling me home. I don't have the strength to resist anymore. To whoever finds this diary, I hope you understand. I tried to hold on, to stay grounded in reality, but some doors, once opened, can never be closed. I've gone too far, lost too much. This place, this world, it's consuming me. Maybe it always was. The diary was found on the floor of an empty apartment. No sign of the writer remains, though traces of dirt and small stones littered the room, forming a faint trail that led from the bed to the front door. No one knows what happened to him or where he went. Only these entries remain, fragments of a mind unraveling in the grip of something that defies explanation. The writer remains missing.